So you've already registered on CloudFiles and come to this native CloudFiles dashboard. Initially, this is going to be empty for you, and in case you have your files on your local drive, you can simply start uploading those files or creating folders and getting your content library organized. However, if you are using something like Google Drive or OneDrive or SharePoint or Box or Dropbox, you can click on this button and you can enable these libraries from here. And you see now, if I go back, all of these libraries show up in my content library in Cloud Files. I can log in into any of these. So, for example, let me log out from my SharePoint. And you see there's this one-time connection process. This is an easy authentication process, and my files are gonna instantly show up in Cloud Files. And I can go into my sites and I can do the same thing for Google Drive and OneDrive. So, for example, all of my shared drives and my drive of Google Drive are synced over here. This is a two-way sync. So, if you are making any changes in your Google Drive, all of those changes are being synced here. And yeah, this is how you get your existing content instantly into Cloud Files. I can also search in this content, and as we'll cover in the next part of this video, I can create sharing links for this, and I can set a bunch of settings and collect analytics on those links. So those links are much more powerful than the links that these platforms provide by default. So in the last part, we saw how I instantly got my content from my Google Drive or my OneDrive into Cloud Files. And now let me show you how I can create some powerful links for this so that I can configure additional security and analytics settings on top of my files. So I'm going to work with this Google Doc that I have just synced from my Google Drive, and I'm just gonna click on this, and you see this link screen is gonna show up. So I can create multiple links. I can just click on this, and I can, if I want to edit this file, I can just open it in my Google Drive and edit it right here. But for now, I'm just gonna create a test link over here. And now this is a very powerful CloudFiles link. There are a lot of settings you can put on top of this. For example, you can take it offline or disallow downloading or require email, put in some notification settings. At the same time, as we'll see in the next video, the viewer that this link opens up in, it's a very highly configurable viewer that you can use to streamline the viewing experience of your clients. So in the last video, we saw how we can create this link from a Google Doc or a Google slide, and I can do pretty much the same thing for a folder. And as we'll cover in a later video, we can also do it for a collection of folders and files, which we call data rooms. Now, let's see what this link can do. First of all, let me just open this link right here. And you can send this link to your client in your email campaigns or through whatever medium you are used to communicating with your customers. And once they click on this link, this is what they see. So this was a two-page Google Doc that was just sitting in my Google Drive right now. And you see right now it has been sort of converted to a website. So there are a bunch of things that I can do over here. For example, I can white label this logo. I can white label this complete URL. I can also disallow downloading, as I'll show you shortly. I can also add my chatbot over here. So my customers, while they are looking at my document, they can type in a message and start talking to me. We are also gonna there's also a subscription feature where if you make any changes to your file, those changes are automatically going to be sent to your subscribers. Um, uh, we are also going to add more features in the future. For example, if you're coming on page two, suddenly a video can pop up and you can start talking about that particular page. So we're going to add a lot of interactivity on this viewer. At the same time, I can go back to my link, and now we can go through all of these different link settings that are there. So for example, I can take my link online and offline anytime. So now if I go back to this doc, it's going to show this file not found. I can go back and take this online, and now the the file is visible again. I can also disallow downloading. So I showed you before that there's this download button, and if I just toggle this switch, the download goes away. So now there is no way to download this particular file. I can also preset expiry based on views or time. I can protect my file with a password, and I can also require people's email. So this is something that is very useful for marketers, for example. Now, if I go back to my document, so you see it's asking me either to log in using Google or Outlook, or provide an email. And in case I'm worried about the security of my document and I want to verify those emails as well, then I can simply check this box. And the person will either have to log in through Outlook or Google, or verify their email using an OTP in their inbox. I can also disallow certain domains and certain emails. So, for example, I can disallow free email providers from accessing my document, or I can only allow people in a certain organization to access my documents. I can also set notifications. So, for example, whenever my document is viewed, I get some sort of a notification of who viewed it, when it was viewed, and some other details. And finally, I talked about the subscription settings, so I can just enable subscriptions, and now this subscribe button shows up on my document. So you see, we are sort of this CloudFiles link provides a very website-like experience on your existing documents. Now, in the next video, we are going to talk about the analytics. While we were looking at this document, we were collecting a lot of detailed and drilled down analytics. And yeah, we'll talk about it in detail in the next part. So in the last part, we saw how very powerful this link is, how I can configure a lot of security and analytics settings on this link, and also how I can configure the viewing experience of my customers on my documents. So while we were looking at this document in the last part, we were also collecting a lot of analytics on this. For example, so let me just close this particular link and go and just click on this analytics. I can also access this analytics from this dashboard. So you see, it shows me my latest views. I can sort and everything. And if I just go to this analytics, so there are two parts to it. First of all, there is a lot of detail that we collect. We collect the total number of unique viewers who viewed the document. How many times did they come back to the document? How many downloads, if you had enabled download, how many times was the document downloaded? We also collect the total time and also the page by page analytics. At the same time, you can also drill down into the analytics. So, for example, if in case there have been multiple views of the document, I can view all of this detail at a more user level or device level or session level by going into these individual analytics. So this was pretty much it about the different types of analytics that we can collect. We can also export this analytics into a Excel document. In the next part, we'll cover a little bit about the integrations, and also mainly about the data rooms feature, where we can create these type of links and collect this analytics on a combination of files and folders. So I'm in my I'm in my app right now, and I can just go to this data rooms tab and click on the new data room button. I'll just give this some name and some description and some banner. And now I can start adding files and folders into this. I can also create groups of these files and folders, and ultimately I can also add a file request block, which I'll show later. Now this library that opens up again can be my Google Drive or OneDrive or whatever I want, and I can just select these individual files, or I can also select these complete folders, and everything that I've added into the data room shows up on this right. I can also search over here. I can also upload files from my local drive or create new folders from right here. Now finally, I'm just gonna click on this add to data room button, and everything's gonna show up in my data room. I can also add some groups to group the content and show it more usefully to the client. So let me just add a bunch of things to the test group. And finally, I can also add a file request block. So let's say I want to request a passport from my customer. Great. So now my data room is ready for sharing. So I can just click on the share button. And now I can create the link for this data room similar to how I can create a file link or a folder link. I can also configure the settings on this link, such as disallowing downloading on my files or collecting email, setting expiry, taking the link offline, or setting subscription settings. Now let me show you how this looks to the client. So this is how it shows up. You can customize your logo and the URL and all the standard settings on the Cloud Files viewer. I can also now go into these files and view them individually. And I can go back to my data room from this simple back button. I can also upload as a client. I can upload files into this data room. So let me just upload one a simple file. Yeah. And now if I go back to my CloudFiles account, first of all, I can see analytics related to all of the views that have happened in my data room. I can view individual file analytics, and I can also view page by page analytics. So I can sort of drill down into the analytics as much as I want, and I can also see all of my received files right here. So I can see who has uploaded what. If the email of the person was requested, then the email would be showing up here. So you would know exactly who has uploaded what into your data room. So this is pretty much about the CloudFiles data room. Thanks for watching.